Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself on the show this evening. It's my two muckers, Bridgeman and Southside. How we doing, gents?
Hi, good evening, Ox. Evening, Bridge. Hi, mate. Good.
Can I say huge good evening to you guys? Massive good evening to the guys in the lobby. To all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Keep the chin up. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
All right, okay. All right, how are you, Southside? Good?
Aye, mate, aye. It's bearing up now. Just a wee bit shocked, obviously, over the last day or so. I think I spoke Monday, and at that time, there was just a wee bit of speculation and stuff, and then obviously it developed 24, 36 hours later. So, aye, he's chosen to go, mate. So that's it. We just need to get on with it, and hopefully we'll find the right candidate, bud.
Aye, I mean, I thought it was tremendous. Bridgeman, calm down, you're making a lot of noise there.
Sorry, pal, sorry.
I thought it was tremendous. Rangers lose a manager and the whole country stops and it's 2 minute silence. But, you know, it just shows you the esteem we're held in.
Absolutely, yeah. Everybody's stunned. Can I just say that, as far as I'm concerned, the manager came, did what he could for us, and he's been offered something, to all intents and purposes, the best deal he's going to see for a wee while. And probably the money was just too much. He's probably on about four times what he was getting at Rangers, and he was getting quite a lot of Rangers probably. So it's really good.
I don't think the money's the motor.
No, I'm just meaning the offer, you know. So he's got a 4.5 year contract. So, you know, he's made for the short space of time he's going to be here.
I still think I've read it's a 2.5 year deal, but I'll need to check that out. But anyway, he's Aston Villa manager, he's not our manager.
He's Aston Villa manager. But I have to say, from a Rangers fan's perspective, me being a fan, I wish him all the best, him and his team, and I hope they have every success wherever they go. I've got no problems at all. We just need to go forward, get the proper feedback on, and march forward and go and get your next manager. Hopefully, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst will do me fine, thank you.
All right, okay, I'm going to bring somebody else in with Southside. Thoughts on that, what Bridges just said?
Pretty similar, mate. I mean, I wish him all the best, mate. He's chosen to go. I look at what he's done for our club since he came in, you know. Big transformation, brought a professionalism back to the club. He was astute in how he spoke and what he spoke when he spoke to the media, and he seemed honest enough when he did speak. I know people take a couple of sound bites out, but I mean, he came into your club, mate, and for a European point of view, he's built us back up there. We were out of Europe for so long. Credibility was done, and he restored that. He got to some fantastic nights at Ibrox and away in Europe. So he built the brand back up for Rangers. That was one of his remits, I would have imagined, to get us into Europe and get us into group stages and stuff. And also the remit was to win the league, mate. So he done that for us as well. He knew what had to be done. Took him a year to get it into motion, but he won us the one that we wanted to win. So I'm disappointed, mate. I was a bit shocked that he left so sharp. But it's up to him, and he's chosen to go. But I don't wish him any ill will. Strange things happen, mate. You never know. Maybe 5, 6, 7 years down the line, he might even come back. You never know. Strange things happen. It's not the first time a manager's left and come back, you know.
No. Right, I'm going to ask you two esteemed football pundits. There you go. How does that grab you?
I love it. Go on.
Depends what you're asking.
I did mention that. What I want to ask you is, when he walked in, can you name the last starting 11 in the last game we played? Yeah, between you.
Probably not for me. Probably not.
Obviously, there was 11 players playing, and we had a goalkeeper. Right?
One dash would be in there.
No, he wasn't.
No, Jason Holt.
Yes.
Halliday.
Yes.
Russell Martin.
Yes.
Well, you're doing well, Southside. You're doing very well.
No,
Neil Alexander.
you're miles away with him, mate.
Who was a goalkeeper? I can't remember.
Was it no McGregor?
Nope.
No, it was
he brought McGregor in. Sorry, he brought McGregor in. Yeah.
JFK done a lot better than used to. That's all I'm saying.
I can't remember anything.
Daniel Candeias.
Yes.
Kenny Miller.
Nope.
No.
You were doing really. What's the wee boy Forrester?
Nope.
No, he was in it.
Right back.
He's a horn.
But Tavernier, surely.
Well done, Bridge. You're the main
man. Yeah, but Tavernier.
Left back.
You want me to put you your miserless Southside?
Declan John.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Alwick.
Oh my goodness.
Halliday. Bates. Martin. Yeah, that's
Bates. Oh my God, Bates. Aye.
Jordan Rossiter. Daniel Candeias. Jason Holt. Sean Richard Goss. And a Jordan
Goss.
James Murphy. And Jason Cummings up front.
Jamie Murphy and Cummings. God almighty. We remember it well too, don't we, Southside? We remember it well.
Bridge, shush. What do you reckon that team was worth, Southside?
Oh, don't know. Can't even think off the top of my head because you've what would it be worth?
Nothing.
Not a lot, really.
2 million total, maybe.
I'd have given them a bit more. I'd have said maybe 3 or 4 million.
Probably 4 at a top whack.
Right, okay, we'll go with 4 million just to estimate. What was the team the last time Stephen Gerrard picked a team? Sunday, wasn't that long ago? The twos were at again. Come on. Right,
Jesus.
What are you talking about? The Bromby game?
No. We played Ross County on Sunday. McGregor, Tavernier, Golson, Balogun, Bassey, Lundstrom, Aribo, Bakuna, Hadji, Sakala, Kent. With guys like Kamara, Morelos, McLaughlin, Arfield, Ryan Jack, Patterson. And
on the bench. Yeah.
So, all right.
Huge difference, eh?
Aye, that's the point I'm making, Bridge, yeah.
Huge difference. Yeah, you're going to ask us what value that is for us, no? At least 10 times. At least 10 times. Exactly, at least 10.
Southside, any thoughts?
It's a massive transformation, Ox. We've watched it evolve from when he done transfer windows and that. He built a squad. He's left us in a decent place. We should probably have more points in front. But on a flip side, I heard JFK saying last night, and a couple of people said, he's just bolted right now during the window with internationals on. And he has. But if you flip it, he's also gave us a bit of time to try and get a manager in as well. If you look at it from the other side, he didn't leave like we could have played in semi-final. Then suddenly 2 or 3 days later, he came out the door before we play Europe or the following league game. So, if you look at it from that point of view, he's gave us a bit of time. I don't know, I'll be honest. As I hear Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, mate, I think we've got to widen the horizons. I don't think the board said anything to my knowledge. I don't know if this is fans' request and it's just snowballed, but everybody I've heard comes up with Giovanni, and he's the only person that seems to be able to get the job. So I'd hope that we're in a position where we've looked at some managers and already have a plan B in place should Gerrard have left.
You've got to have a plan.
Aye, you should have in business, mate.
Well,
aye.
Listen, I'll be really honest with you, mate. That plan's a moving plan as things develop. But if you're running anything, it's if you've got to have a plan where if one of your key personnel departs, illness or whatever, you've got to have plans in place. And they'll know that Stevie G had an exit deal on his contract, and if it happened, it could be triggered at any time. And that somebody in our club has the job of making sure that plan's always activated and always changed. And I would say that person would be Ross Wilson's Southside.
Aye, mate, he's got to be ahead of the game, you know. So I'd hope that we've had a short list, and obviously managers get jobs and stuff, mate. For people,
so you take him at your short list, you maybe take somebody.
I add somebody else in it, mate, if came available. I mean, I'm no saying for 1 minute, but I mean, people say you could have maybe said, well, Frank Lampard, is he the type of person somebody might look at? Possibly no, but I've just heard it just seems to be Van Bronckhorst. It seems to be we're looking for people that are out of jobs. And we're a massive club here. We've got to make this decision right. There's a big fat check at the end of this season, and we want to be champions and get into the group stages and help the club out. But it is a big decision to make. So I think we should be checking all avenues, mate, and even people that might be in jobs that might not have long left in contracts or whatever. Ross Wilson sees or whoever.
That's
I just
his job, mate. That's his job.
That's it.
Look, when Sky came in for Bridge, Fox strategy. He had it all thing. We interviewed 3 cleaners, right? And we were in place, and if Bridge went, it was all there. It was all done. So you've got to always evolve, Bridge, yeah?
Indeed. I think that, I can understand. At the present moment, I think what Rangers need is speed, to be honest. Of course, they've got to be the right person, but they have to, whatever process, it needs to be a quick process or as quick as possible. They know about Van Bronckhorst. Van Bronckhorst has been with us, so he's no stranger to Ibrox, and he's no stranger to the culture, and he's played very well for us and was a big star. And he's got a chance to come back to us, and maybe has a chance to come back to us. And I don't think he would say no if he was offered it. Plus the fact that Bonus in there is out of work at the moment. As far as I'm led to believe, he's out of work at the moment. And it's the same with Frank Lampard. Lampard's got some good leanings towards Rangers, and he's also out of work as far as I believe. So there's a good battle going on there if those 2 chaps want to come to Ibrox and do it. Personally, my own preference would be Gio Van Bronckhorst because of his closeness to us before. And I think he's always said he would love to come back and manage Rangers. You hear these stories, of course, and you try to take them with a pinch of salt. But I'm a sentimental, smushy guy, you know, and I think Van Bronckhorst would love it.
Big softy at heart.
Oh, but most assuredly, when it comes to Rangers, I'm easy. I'm a pushover. I'm an absolute pushover. And I would love to see Rangers getting a high quality, a real quality player, ex-player rather, and he's done the job as a manager with Feyenoord, with the national team. So there's no complaints about his manager ability as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sure he would come into Rangers and do a really good job as well.
Well, we'll see. I'm not caring about the speed. I don't know about you. Southside, I just wanted to be whoever's the right person, yeah?
Aye, I'm the same, mate. I'd go into that semi-final, and if we didn't have a manager in place, it wouldn't bother me. Honestly, wouldn't, because the team know what's needed. We know the system. If that's the system that we're going to just go out and play, so somebody could go in and take charge, or even if it was Stephen Davis that was leading it out and taking charge with some senior players. Tav's been in there, Golson's a leader. We've got leaders in there. If we didn't have a manager, we can surely organise ourselves to go out and play a semi-final. So, but I want the person right, Bridge. I'm not interested whether he was at Rangers before and he done all right and that. He's no got a job now, and he's no got a job for a reason. If I'm saying Van Bronckhorst, he was in China, and I read something that I was trying to sort of scout up and see what the big clamour was for Van Bronckhorst. And I see something about, I think he was 11th in the Chinese league before, I think COVID hit and stuff like that, and then he left there. So, we should be taking a wee bit of time here and getting the right guy, somebody who we know will do a job. We only need a manager to come in. It's just Scotland he needs to win in. It's not like it's the Premiership down in England. So he needs to come in here and just win a 2-team league, basically. So Frank Lampard would fit the bill. Some people say, we didn't do well at Chelsea. Well, he finished 4th and he done no bad at Derby. I'm not advocating him. I'm just saying that he could be one that could be considered. People's flying in Giovanni because he won a Dutch league and then he's won a couple of cups. So I'll say Callum Davidson's won a couple of cups up at St Johnstone. So for me, cups are bonuses. Anybody can win a cup. It's about winning a league. So I think there's other managers out there, Ox and Bridge, that I think we should be looking at and not just dive in because everybody thinks it's got to be Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Listen, I'm not one for spreading rumours, as you know, Bridge, man, but my phone went today and it was an unknown number and it was Douglas Park. He asked me what I was doing Monday for a chat.
And he says, wait a minute, Dougie, I'm not sure.
He's away to check his licence, see if it's still valid.
I must be looking for somebody to drive the bus.
Wait a minute, Dougie. Did they play in black ash pitches?
Right, okay. I think we'll get these lines opened. I think you've said what you felt, and we'll hear what the people's got to say. Yeah,
go for it,
mate. Right, come in and tell us what you think.
Way, just to let you know, you two were on last night and there was nearly 30,000 people listening to Rangers Radio.
We're on the night and there's nobody. Is that what you're saying?
I'll probably get pelters in. They're all probably wanting Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
I don't think you never said that. I think what you're saying is you've got to do your due diligence, but some of that due diligence Southside should already be done. That's the point I'm making. And if it's Van Bronckhorst that walks in the door, there should still be a plan in place if anything happens with him. You've got that plan's got to keep evolving.
I'm no saying we'll only know in time whether whoever we give the next Rangers job, the manager, we'll only know in time if he's going to be successful. And if it is Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, then wish him all the best, and I want him to be successful. But just saying, take him maybe a wee bit of time and have a wee look and see what is out there.
All right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I get your point. If Southside was drawn up a shortlist, if Southside was making a plan, and a realistic plan or a dream plan, whatever way you want to go, who would be your 5 on it if you were looking at and going?
If I was wanting a manager, I'd want Pep. There you go. Get Pep and he'd solve it. No, but seriously, I would think. I had a wee sort of think today, a couple of managers. I heard Alex from Wishaw saying it, and I'd thought about him and all. That boy Potter at Brighton, he's quite a forward-thinking manager. He's turned them around. He plays good football. This is only to win the league up here, mate. This is what we're talking about. He dominates Scottish football and then obviously get into Europe. But it's to dominate Scottish football. So I know he'd be under contract. I don't know. I'm just saying him. I'd like maybe in the backroom team, if possible, I'd like maybe a Neil McCann or a Kevin Thompson, maybe Marmite for some people, Barry Ferguson. I'll come back to you, mate, on that, a couple other names.
Okay. So listen, we're not having a chat, we're only thinking out loud. We're not making any predictions or proposals here, we're only having a chat,
Absolutely, bud.
Bridges get his orange shirt.
I make no bones about my preference. I wanted him before we wanted Gerrard, although I've got no complaints about Gerrard. I would have taken Van Bronckhorst a drop of a hat last time, but unfortunately that wasn't going to happen. Well, a bit of luck it could happen this time, and I don't know if it's going to be down to money or anything like that, but let's hope that it goes well for whomever, because there's a few managers that you could actually think about. Mourinho, yeah, could think about him. Jose.
The wheels have come off at Roma for him already.
I'm saying that, so he's going to be out the door. Or he maybe want to. Some people might want to come up here just to resurrect their career. So that that could happen, But I do like Frank Lampard, and I think Lampard given a job at Rangers would do quite well as well. I don't doubt. So Giovanni Van Bronckhorst would be my first, and Lampard would be my second. If we could, I'd take a punt and try and get to Marino. And I don't know of any others, and certainly none in the Scottish League. And I wouldn't even dream about McInnes. Not one bit. Not one bit.
We're going to go and get him away from Roma. You need to.
No, you're not going to get him away from. I mean, if Roma sack him, that's what I mean.
Well, nothing else.
Right? Well, there you go. You might.
Trouble with the players. That seems to be a thread with all Chelsea.
He's fallen from grace a number of times. Let's put it that way.
He's a busted flush now, mate. His record's fantastic, but maybe his time's went. Football moves on. It always evolves. Clubs evolve. People leave. People come in, new players, new ideas. The game's always evolving.
Yeah.
It's outside.
He might be the type of manager that thrives on a good budget, and he can build a team, and that's all there is to it. It might be as easy as that for him. Just give me the money, I'll buy the players, and we'll win.
Okay, well, been joined by Tommy. How we doing, Tommy?
Not bad, Ox. How's yourself?
Good.
Hi, Tommy.
Good. What's on your mind, Tommy?
I was just listening to what you were saying there, Ox. It was a sad day when he decided to jump ship or jump the thingy, whatever it was, whatever he's done. I just had to think some of the things that made me laugh as Ox was that there he was saying about Brendan Rodgers when he left Celtic mid-season, he'd never do that. I mean, he says to Emma Dodds 2 weeks ago, he's as happy as Larry. And he's jumped ship. And it looks like he never even told the players what he was doing, Ox.
Mm-hmm. I think if you're leaving, you've no responsibility to anybody. What I will say, the analogy it was given to me, and I had to agree with it. And Fox has been a relationship expert, and he summed it up. He said that he was madly in love, and 2 weeks later he was in for a divorce, mate. Things change.
I know some of the people are saying about the guy that he lived in Glasgow and his wife is in Liverpool. I can imagine that she's had. I mean, reading the papers that she's had a part to play. Fox.
But that's that happens to be the...
That's the paper talk. That's paper talk. I know that, Ox. But you sometimes think, does the family come into it with the Waynes not being there and you're not there every night? And, you just wonder, don't you?
It's a factor in people's life. Southside.
Aye. Tommy, I think he's made a bit of a sacrifice for the last 3 and a bit years. And something's triggered him. Could have been speaking to the family, being away and seeing her now and again. And it's tough. And I think he's one of his girls had her birthday last week and that. So I just think, mate, he's just decided he's went. It's a shock to us, as probably, like you say, could have been a lot of the players. But we've just got to go on it.
Do you think this, Ox, what they were saying about there was a bit of a dressing room bust-up between them and some of the things that Scott Arfield was saying that some of the things they weren't happy with. He might
don't believe a word of it, mate. I don't believe a word of it. Yeah.
Okay. I just wondered.
Yeah, I think if you read social media and you go, you have 100 theories, mate, and one of them might be right. And
exactly.
I think the guy's moved jobs, mate. Have you moved jobs in your life, Tommy?
Actually, Ox, no, I haven't.
No.
No, I've been on the railway. I've been on British Rail for 43 years, Ox. I'm still there. But no, I haven't.
You're the exception rather than the rule, if that's fair, isn't it?
I listened to what you said at the beginning, Ox, there, and you're right, because I was actually going to say to you when you mentioned that team, because somebody actually put that on one of the Facebook pages today. Look at the team he inherited, right? The team that he started with, because Jack Anick was in goal and all that, and like you were saying about some of the players, the team he's left us. I mean, he's left us with a team that's possibly worth about 50, 60 million quid, Ox. So you're like you're saying, the guy's legacy will be good. He's going to leave a good legacy with us. I think what's annoyed a lot of the fans is it's the way it's been done. It's how it's been done and how it's been handled.
I fully understand that. But it'll only be hindsight, or it'll only be where we go next, that we'll look back at that. If we go in and win the league, Southside, nobody will care what's happened, will they?
No.
Oh,
no.
Of course not. It's like anything. See, once things settle down, once things settle down, and people will look back in time, and he's done a fantastic job for us. Absolutely fantastic job. He got his 55. He stopped that mob across the city, winning a title. So he done his remit. His remit was win the league, stop them, and get us into Europe, get his credibility back, and try and get us some money and get into the group stages. And he gave us some great nights home and away in Europe. So
did not make you laugh though, Ox? Did you not make you laugh though, Ox, between the difference between Rangers and Villa? There he was announced as Aston Villa manager, right? And there's nobody outside the ground. And he's announced as Rangers manager, and there's about nearly 10,000 people outside Ibrox. What a difference in football clubs, eh?
I think you're right. I think there was a guy who played for the other team on the other side of the city said that Rangers could fit Aston Villa into the
back pocket. Absolutely.
I think that's right concerning the size of the football clubs, but I think what became realistic is, if you like, Scottish football fans, that we realised that the English Premier League
is the calling point.
It's not the teams, mate. It's the draw. When players leave the Old Firm to go to Bournemouth, you've got issues, mate. And
that's what I liked about Ali McCoy. When I like listening to McCoy sometimes on Talk Sport, Ox, and it's like he said he was having that argument with the ex-Tottenham player when he said that Rangers and Celtic when they do nothing. And I said some people actually talk through the hole in their backside, because Rangers and Celtic, right, are possibly two of the biggest football clubs in the world. It's a fan base to command, and if Rangers and Celtic were in the Premier League, they would command the kind of money that Manchester United, Manchester City, they would probably get. They would command the Ox. They would actually command the money that these clubs are getting, but because they play in Scotland, it will never happen.
But we can't help. We're a Scottish club, mate.
And we're a Scottish club. I don't say that about the mobs on the road, but we're a Scottish club, and and that's where your problems are going to. And Jimmy Carragher said that yesterday, Ox, didn't he? Jimmy Carragher said it's nothing to do with Celtic or Rangers. It's the lure of the English Premier League, and that's where. Take judge of Stephen Gerrard, the Ox. He'll be judged because if he wants to move to Liverpool, which was, if every Rangers fan was honest, they didn't mind him going to Liverpool. They didn't have an issue with him going to Liverpool. I think it's what he's done now is if he doesn't succeed at Aston Villa, Liverpool won't take him.
Potentially could be right, but we'll see where it goes, mate. And who's your choice to replace him?
Giovanni. There's only one man for me.
Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Van Bronckhorst.
All right, okay.
And
Tommy.
And
Tommy.
You're a shocker.
Tommy.
Go on.
Can I ask you why?
I think it's like, I've been listening to Sky Sports this afternoon, and he's the Rangers legend, isn't he? He 3 years. What I like what some of the people were saying is he knows the club. He knows what it means when we play Celtic. He knows what it's like Rangers when he's played in European nights. He's played the big European. He's played in bigger games than some of these Rangers players that are there now. He's played in some of the biggest European nights we've had at Ibrox, and he knows the club. And if he brings Walters with him, which is Dick Advocate's advocate, who's second man, then I think you're getting people that know the club inside out.
All right. Can I just say one thing then? Ali McCoist. Same criteria as Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Ali McCoist never won the Division League in Holland, or did he?
Aye, I'll give you that. But when you're talking about experience, big nights, played in Europe, knows the club, knows what it means to beat Celtic. was all your criteria you gave there. So I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating him to get the job. I'm just saying.
Let him finish, Tommy. Tommy, let him finish.
I'm just saying, as in the criteria, plus he took charge of Glasgow Rangers at a right bad time for us, you know. But,
exactly.
And he had a right hard job, but just with the criteria that you've gave, you know, and he's won a Dutch league, but, you know, Tommy, I want a manager. I want somebody with credentials. I don't want somebody that's just this about him and he's won that and he's won a couple of cups. I want a right good manager for Glasgow Rangers. This is critical for us. We need to make the right decision. So I just think everybody seems to be on one track mind. It's going to be Gio and nobody else gets considered, you know.
Well, I mean, would they look at Frank Lampard? Would they look at Lampard? Would they look at Smith? Would they look at them too? Who knows? I mean, I hope they don't look at McInnes, because McInnes chucked us and he didn't want to know us in the first place. He didn't want to know when he was at Aberdeen. He wasn't interested. So I think...
My understanding was he was never offered the job, Tommy.
I'd like you to... I mean, the problem is, Ox, and I agree with your man there, the problem is Alan McCoy, that was a shame because he took over Rangers when Rangers were going through a real bad spell for us all, Ox. It's a bad spell for us all. I just think we banged Broncos playing at Arsenal, playing with Barcelona, being the next manager of Feyenoord, and don't forget he stopped it. They won the league and stopped Ajax and PSV doing things. So I don't know, Ox. You just look at his credentials. He would have done well maybe in China if it hadn't been for COVID, and he had to come home and all that with his family and that. I know he went to Holland. He went there for the money and that, Ox, which is fair enough. But I've just looked at what he's done up till then. I mean, Frank Lampard, really, he never done anything at Derby. He never done anything at Chelsea. But you sometimes think, and to be honest with you, Ox, Steven Gerrard never done nothing at Liverpool, and he came to Rangers. And all he did at Rangers...
Aye, well, we'll see. I mean,
it's a tricky one, Ox. It really is a tricky one. But
listen, you're only by hindsight, you know, if you've done the right thing or no, mate.
And I was listening to there before the start of the England game, and he's still at Rangers, right? And I mean, people are saying that there's no backroom lads there. I'm going, what a crock of crap. You've got Stephen Davis there, Alan McGregor, and Tavernier, who could probably take the training. They could take the training themselves, Ox. Stephen Davis is no daft. He's not behind the door. They're not daft. These are quality players that would look after the training if they had to get us through that cup semi-final, Ox. You've got quality players at Rangers who know what they're doing.
If we get it right, mate, I understand that people want somebody in for Monday. I know where they're coming from, but I think it's more important you get it right, whether that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's more important you get it right.
And that's what Ali said this afternoon on Talk Sport, Ox. He said they've got it. If they're going to, Kenny Miller said it. If they're going to get it, they've got to get it right, Ox. And I 1,000% agree. They've got to get it right. And I'm pretty sure Ross Wilson knows what he's doing. Ox, he's been in the game a long time, and he knows the club. He knows what he wants. But just for me, I think my personal opinion is I can't see anybody outside the circle. Even Dean Smith might be a good, but you don't know what the board's plans are, Ox. And also, Ox, did Steven Gerrard walk away because you couldn't get any money at the board to try and strengthen the club to make us a wee bit better in Europe?
We'll never know what the plans were and went on behind the scenes, and people will speculate all they like about the Malmo game, but he got the players signed up, re-signed. Glenn Kamara re-signed. He brought in Lundstrom. Okay, we never spent any money, but we gave improved contracts, which is increasing your budget. And we're no privy to the ins and outs of what goes on behind in the boardroom between the manager and Stevie G. We can speculate all we want, and that's what makes the show so good. Rumours,
absolutely, that's what makes your show excellent.
That's what it's all about. But Giovanni Broncos, I think he's the favourite south side. Where he'll get the job, I still don't know yet.
I agree, mate. And here, if he gets the job and he turns out to be a winner for us and does the business, I'll be delighted, mate. But I just think everywhere you go, it's the only name that anybody talks about. And like you said, Dean Smith, Frank Lampard, what about Ronald or Frank de Boer? I don't know, just flinging their names out there. But there's other managers down in England that might be under contract. Like I said, that Graham Potter, I think he'd do a great job for us. But I think I've looked at what he's done at Brighton and that, and how he's built his team.
He's a wizard, you know. He's a bit of a wizard.
Aye.
Harry's dad.
But it's like anything. This is a big decision for us. So if it takes a bit longer in time, unless the board have decided, but I've not heard the board come out and say anything. I've just heard that everywhere you go, everybody, or the last night on the show, everybody says the same thing. Sorry?
I don't think it's a joke to give a running.
No, isn't it, mate? No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it seems to be the support's choice more than anything else. For what I hear, everybody just says the one thing.
Is it not a fact that if the board go and speak to him or try to go and speak to Van Bronckhorst, then they must fancy him for the job originally, you know, and then they'll find out between him and whomever else they go and interview or get interviewed with. So I think he's a red hot favourite at the moment, even with the board. I don't think they can see any failure in getting him in. That's what I think, and I think it'd be an easy choice for them if they want to get him. If they like him, then they should get him. Simple as that.
So you think it's just a good fit all round, Bridge?
I believe so. I really do believe so. I've got no grumps about any of the managers. The only one I couldn't tolerate McInnes coming to Ibrox. I couldn't tolerate it. I would actually wouldn't go to Ibrox to see him.
I've got to be honest with you, that shirt you've took out the wardrobe for 2000 for the semi-final, I don't think it'll fit anymore.
No, I'm telling you now, I would be, and I've been with Rangers for a long time, and there's no way I would tolerate McInnes coming to Ibrox. I wouldn't tolerate it. I would send my season ticket back, and that's it. You'd never get my support.
I don't understand that. You support the team, mate.
Oh, I support the team, yes, but this is a deliberate, right? They're no suckered into anything. They're going to go and interview people for a manager.
You better be careful what you wish for. You never know what will happen Southside.
We know that. And wasn't that long
Monday
ago?
morning, Derek McInnes, new Rangers.
Well, that's fine. I won't be back to Ibrox. I won't go back to Ibrox to bring him in. It's not that long ago they supposedly knocked Rangers back. But when then we hear, I think you said it. He was never actually offered the job in the first place. But no, I'm sorry. If we're even interviewing Derek McInnes, given what we know, as a club, we should never even tolerate McInnes at all.
Based on what, mate?
Based on his past performances. The man doesn't like Rangers. People think he's a blue nose, a dyed in the wool. No, he's not. He doesn't like Rangers.
Bridge. I'll tell you something, right? Porto won each game against Ross McCormack scored. Derek McInnes sat behind me in a plane. He's a right bear, mate, a right good blue nose. Maybe you see things differently, but the one thing about Derek McInnes is he's a blue nose, mate.
He may have been a blue nose. I'm not disputing the fact he might have been a blue nose, but I don't think he's the same person now as he was. I don't think so. I personally, I don't know what other Rangers fans think. I just know that myself and Mr. McInnes would
just
not see eye to eye.
Arms on Monday, can you get your season ticket transferred to somebody? I've had a message already.
Right, no problem.
I've had a message already. Somebody on the waiting list will take your seat, yeah?
No problem.
In fact, I've just had 4 messages.
No problem.
Bridge, you better check his managers first before you get
That's no problem either. I couldn't care less.
I thought you supported the team. That's always been my fault.
I always support the team and the club, but that's a step too far for me if they brought McInnes in. I can't believe that you guys wouldn't bother. I can't believe it. Sorry, I can't believe it.
I never said I wanted it.
Yeah, exactly.
I never said that at all, but it wouldn't alter my feelings for the club. You know? What? 5 messages actually. Old school blues just come in. Oh dear. This is what my club do. The passions they instill. They bring out this. They just want the best for it. I get what Bridge is saying. I understand fully. McInnes with Aberdeen and some of the things that were portrayed in the media. I don't think Derek is that bad a guy. They want him as a manager. No, I don't. I don't think he's the calibre we're looking for. But I've got to say, stranger things have happened, Tommy.
I mean, even Stephen Gerrard says that once you're a Ranger, you're always a Rangers. I mean, it doesn't matter, whatever. But I mean, McInnes wouldn't be for me, Ox. I don't know. Something about him I don't like. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I'm pretty sure we must be a bit. I still think it's going to. I hope I'm right. I still think it'll be Van Bronckhorst.
All right, here's one for you. But just I've been sent somebody to ask you this. What happens if Giovanni Van Bronckhorst comes in, announced as manager on Monday? Happy?
Say that again. If he's announced on Monday.
Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Yeah, cool.
On Monday.
You're going to tell me what if he picks Derek McInnes as assistant?
Aye.
Yeah, we've thought of all these things. I wouldn't tolerate McInnes at Ibrox at all. Not at all.
Oh dear, I just don't get it. All right, well, I think we've been joined by Davy. How are we doing, Davy?
Not bad, Ox. I was on last night. You were talking to me about sounded good for my age, 72. So
mate, listen,
I might sound 62 tonight because I've got my teeth in.
All right, do you wear glasses, Davy?
Yes.
A wee grey goatee beard? Yes. Okay, small world. Carry on.
Tell me the rest.
No. Never divulge your sources, mate.
Maybe my ex-wife wanted money. Anyway, when I was talking last night, I think we're trying to get ahead of ourselves here. Who we want and who we don't want. I think we're missing a big point about how financially we are sitting and who we can take in. And we're talking about Lampards and Dean Smith, Noreen. Do you think Rangers have got the money to bring them in?
I think they'll offer them a competitive salary, the manager's salary. Some managers, lower managers in EPL, don't earn the bucks that the Stars earn. Southside?
Yeah.
Aye, we'll give them a competitive wage, mate. You know what they're coming to? They're coming to Glasgow Rangers, and I mean, if you've not got a job, it's more appealing, isn't it, than if you're trying to get somebody out of contract, possibly, that's got a job. But I think we should just take a wee bit of time. I think if it's going to cost us any compensation and it's the right man, and we think the board think he's the right man, then they should shell out a wee bit, mate, and get the man that we want, that they think's the right guy for the job. We'll just fling names out and people that we think that might come in and do a job. But if the board really needs somebody and he's under contract, mate, then they should try and go and get him.
What's your thinking, David? You woke up this morning in the North 73, and what are you thinking?
Well, it's very, very cool. I think everybody's in a state of shock, isn't it? As how it happened so quick. Now, there's no way anybody will convince me that this wasn't all a done deal last week. That chief executive for Aston Villa is his China. Now, he's been on the phone. Dean Smith was on a sticky wicket. And I think they've went and been speaking to each other, and he says, if he doesn't get a result this Sunday, he's going to get sacked. Would you be willing to come down? You don't say what you say on the Sunday, win the match, and then you piss off down to London on the Tuesday and sign up on the Wednesday.
I think you've got to, don't put two and two together. I think the London trip was already, the boy Milson, they were getting together in London for his birthday. That was coincidence, mate, with a capital C, mate.
And then you signed for Aston Villa.
I think all the talks will go behind the scenes with their agent, mate. They don't get directly involved, mate.
But that's what I'm saying. Also, he's making a statement on the Sunday that everyone's hunky dory, and he's got to sort out the mistakes at the back and all that. And then he signs for Aston Villa on the Wednesday. No, I'm not watching that.
Well, he did.
Well, exactly, but how can that happen this quick?
Offers money.
It's no pre-arranged. To me, there's a bit of skullduggery going on there.
There might have been talks prior, behind the scenes. Southside, his mucker speaking to him and goes, if this guy goes, would you be interested? That
of course.
I
think the boy he's talking about is that Christian Pirlo or something, isn't it?
Yes, that's yours.
He's probably has spoke to him, mate. There's no doubt about it. He's probably said to him, would you be interested, or said to his agent, what do you think? But I eventually had to come to Stevie G. I dare say he spoke to him, mate. That's what happens. It's football, mate. He's taking a gamble and he's going down there. And I don't wish him any ill. He's picked the wrong time to go for me. It was a bit of a shock. But he's went and everybody's went with him. So now we just have to make sure we get this appointment right, mate. It doesn't matter how we done it, what he said or what he's done. He's gone.
Oh, yeah,
people,
definitely.
And you're right to what you're saying. It does stick in a few of your throats and probably always to a point, bits and bobs of it. But we just have to go on with it now. He's away. And we just need to find our next manager and make sure it's the right decision, because this is a big season for us anyway. We want to retain the championship. That's the most important thing, because that gets the money in for the club. Club needs money. So if the board decide to fling some money out there to try and get us over the line or whatever they see fit, you've got to remember, it sticks in my throat to say it, mate, but the model is at the last shareholder meeting, and Bridge will verify it, we're going to be a selling club. We just have to accept that we are a selling club. And that's how we're going to have to go forward over the next few seasons. We've brought these players in, we've made them better, we've gave them contracts, and when somebody comes in for them now, whether it be January or next season, then if the price is right, we'll have to sell them. And that's just a fact of life at the moment. And that's just the way the club is. And the club stated that, so there's nobody out there can say we're wrong. We're going to be a selling club for certain players. We have to move on and get other players back in.
All right, I'm going to ask Tommy for his last words before we bring on some other callers. Tommy?
I totally agree with Southsider. I totally agree with him, Ox. We are a selling club, Ox. I mean, if other clubs come in for Morelos and the better players and all that, Rangers will sell them. You know, I've no doubt that Rangers will sell their better players. I think they have to sell their better players, Ox, if it's true. I think they have to sell. Thanks anyway, Ox. I'm going to keep an eye on it, see what's going on. All the best, mate. Thanks for letting me on your show again. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. 43 years in the railway. 43 years in the railway. Up and down, you know. Right, we've been joined by Mal. Evening, Mal.
Good evening, guys. How you doing?
All right, mate. How's you? What's on your mind, mate?
Obviously disappointed me. See we're leaving. Just want to see what the guys think. Who's going to be our next manager? Personally, I like Gio.
I wanted Gio, but I'm getting behind Derek McInnes now.
No.
You must be kidding.
This is like 2 days listening to the Fashion Sakala song, man, honestly.
Honest boy, if there's one guy I don't want is Derek McInnes. No offence to the boy, but no.
I don't think you're alone.
No, we're not going for him, mate.
There's been a few names mentioned. Van Bronckhorst, even Dean Smith, Lampard been mentioned, but Derek McInnes, please no.
I don't think you're alone in the thoughts. Look, Southside and it's mentioned Graham Potter. Whether we can prize anybody away for the EPL, I don't know, but you never know. I heard Sean Dykes mentioned. They've got a new owners there. What kind of contracts he is? Is he got 6 months left? Giovanni's a strong favourite, Mal, but we'll wait and see, yeah?
No, I hope Gio gets it, because I didn't realise, I read the paper today, I see my mate yesterday, fellow Years fan, and I thought it was about 10 years, but it turned out to be 18 years since he won final of the league. To me, that was a good shout. Come into the final, win the league for the first 18 years. Similar to what CVG is. So I think, to me, at the moment, I'd take Gio, definitely. Frank Lampard, possible. It's good pals with CVG. I can think CBE saying to Lampard, here, pal, you go and finish off last Saturday.
Yeah, you never know, mate. You never know. Football's a funny game, but listen, my information is that I got a message here just before the show started that flights are moving and some Dutchmen might be on it. Yeah, so watch this space.
Oh, I'd be quite happy with you. I think he's a great shout. I say, what did the fine odds? I'd be quite happy with Brad Rockers coming in.
I don't think you're alone in that. But we'll see.
No,
we'll see. No, is that your choice, Davey, as well?
Oh, all day long. No danger. Hey guys, Dutch football, coaching, you name it. Its reputation goes before it. You know, you're talking about, and the guy's a legend at Ibrox. He's proved himself. You can't say, oh, he just won a league, he just won a couple of cups. See, that didn't. Did he? He didn't win any cups apart from the one we all wanted. That was marvellous. It's great. It's a done deal. It's gone. But when you're talking about Van Bronckhorst and who he can bring in, and at this moment in time, we need that stability in the head, coaching where it should be. It's got to be. And for me, he's a man anyway. That's my opinion anyway.
That's one thing. Bridge will know to go Dutch, south side.
No. I mean, honestly, Davey, I just don't know where Gio's just come out, honestly. I mean, how's everybody just going on this bandwagon? It has to be Gio. Who started this? I want to know who started this, Davey.
Well, it's the usual. It's the media, isn't it? It's everybody, when they start throwing the names on, it's a lucky duck, and then you dig out 3 names and you say, right, what one do you want? And he's out of them off. You can't talk about Lampard and they'll not touch that, Joe. For a fact.
Oh no, but I'm not. I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I want him, right? If the club want to talk to him, fair enough. But I'm just saying, how do you not think he'd want to touch us?
Yes, I totally agree.
I think he finished 4th with Chelsea, right, in the league down there, right? So, and I had a wee spell
under a transfer embargo as well.
Aye. So,
yeah,
who's not to say? I mean, he's got to come up here, and all we need to do is batter that mob across the city, right? That's all we need to do here, and then try and do quite well in Europe. Obviously, Champions League. We've got to be honest here. Champions League is a wee bit out our league for competing, but we want to get in it. Of course we do, because we need the money for the club.
I totally agree.
So
I just don't think we can. He's got the. Not saying. I just don't think we can afford that guy or Dean Smith. Unless we come up with some money, and which we've not got.
We're down to the board to find it, mate, if we need it.
Talking about guys we can afford, we'll be joined by Big Al, evening, big man. I know somebody will be disappointed.
Can you hear me all right? Aye.
Yes, mate, we hear you fine, mate. Tip top.
Because I'm in the garden shed. I've got Skippy the kangaroos hostage. I want 6 cans as soon as possible, and Gerard back tomorrow. All right.
All right, Big Al.
I've been working on that all week.
It didn't work, Biggie.
That's quality. It did. I heard you laugh. You'll be using that next week.
I never laughed at the gag. I laughed at you.
Oh, thanks very much. Have I got my camera on, like?
No. I've seen you, big man. You're a big handsome devil.
No. Thanks very much. Yeah, I love you and Stevie's advert, Southside.
We'll hear that later on. We're going to hear that later on.
Thanks very much,
please
mate.
Please don't. He's a very deadpan.
I had to take their equity cared after, Mal.
Aye, definitely. Where did I start? You know, I was never a great big fan of Steven Gerrard.
No, you were consistent.
I was good. What you're selling me, son? Sorry. I was never a big fan of him, but I do feel he's walked away, blinked out the door. Look, he's went away probably for more money. It's a different opportunity, but it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and that'll always be there. As far as managers go, he won a big title. That's granted, but that was all he done, I think, on the field. You can talk about the European thing, but he didn't win. He's not leaving us, and he's won a treble or that. Where you can look at him and say, well, he done really well. He won Man Trophy. To be quite honest, last season it was very important, but our competition were not great. shakes last season, and we seen the 2 seasons prior to that when there was a wee bit of competition. I don't think he produced. He didn't produce for me enough what I was expecting him, and I think he'd maybe admit that himself. There was quite a lot of failures, so he's not our manager anymore. I'm not really worried about him. He can do what he wants. We move on. And in regards to managers coming in, I'd really like to see somebody by the weekend, because, like you've said, and I think we've said on the show over the years, they have to have something in place for this. Due diligence has to be done. There has to be a short list of managers, because you never know. The manager that's in place at any period of time can get hit with a bus. So we've got to, there should be a short list there, and obviously that's fluid, because managers will take a job and managers will come out of a job, and he might be a better manager than the previous guy who had on the list. And so it's a fluid thing. We'll see if this wee boy, a director of football, we'll see if he's got any cojones about him, because I think it'd be important. It's an important move for him. He has to get it right. The pressure's definitely on him. The pressure's definitely on the board, and I'd like to see a manager in sooner rather than later. Van Bronckhorst, for me, he might be the man. If you look at him on paper, he won an Eredivisie. That's quite a good league to win. I think if you're winning that, and you
quite a good league to see as well.
It's a lot better than the Scottish League, I'll tell you that.
Aye, it is, but that's what I'm saying. So he's got a bit of thing there. In regards to managers that you maybe look at. Now, I've heard a couple of people kind of be a bit negative, but Callum Davidson won one more trophy than Steven Gerrard won, and I don't know him that well, but I know Callum Davidson. I know, and I think he would do as a good turn. If we wanted to go down that kind of Scottish route. Another just one off the cuff I thought, and because I always like to cut his jib, and I thought he'd done when he filled in at Everton, was Duncan Ferguson. I don't know if the board would have the cojones to go for a manager such as that.
Don't think he would come back to Scottish football.
I think he would. He's talking about. I don't even know why we're even talking about McInnes, but McInnes is a blue nose. If you think about McInnes is a blue nose, Duncan Ferguson is a blue nose, guaranteed.
I know that.
One other manager I'm thinking that I think we mentioned the last time prior to Steven Gerrard was Steve Bruce. I think he'd walk on broken glass to come to Ibrox. I think his father was a big blue nose. Southside's right. It doesn't matter if he's a blue nose or what he is, but I just think I think he would settle the ship, and I think he's a leader. He's won things. I know it's no big. He's not won the Premier League, but I think he'd get us over the line, because this is a really important.
Is it you that's moving about, Al? Is it you that's moving about, or is it Davey?
No, I'm not here. I'm still lying in my bed here.
All right, we're getting a
get your horns off it then, Davey.
Yeah, we're getting our horns off it, Davey. If you're moving about, stop moving about. Yeah.
That's not me, Davey.
Davey's trying to blow up his doll. His doll went down.
So you've been reading my mail.
Don't worry, I always get an emergency puncture kit. He's all right.
It's just flew out the window. He felt it with helium. So a wee bit of a rant for me, but look, it is what it is.
Aye, but I think your point.
But I think we've got to move fast.
I agree with you. I would like us to move faster to get the right man, but if you're talking about Monday or Wednesday, I don't see it being a big deal, mate. You know, as long as you get the right man.
But I think, like you've said, the due diligence has to be there. There has to be a target that you just go to
constantly, mate. Constantly. That's their job.
That's their job behind the scenes. So that's why I think it'll probably be a quick appointment, because they cannot go and do a 4-month thing again. When I was
hang on. I'm just going to say cheerio to Davey, and then we're going to go to a tune. Right, Davey. Always a pleasure, mate.
Good speaking to you guys. You all take care. Watch yourselves.
Right. You keep in touch, mate. And you sort that bird out. You sort that wee bird out. You look better when it's trimmed, mate.
Is that how you lost it, Davey? Did you burst out with the stubble when you're getting a French kiss?
I'm not giving my secrets away here.
Yeah, you keep your secret. Speak to you soon, Davy.
I think Ox knows more about it than I do.
No bother, Davy. Speak to you soon, brother.
Right, Davy, good night.
Bye, boys.
Good night.
Right,
Sweet
we're
dreams.
going to have a tune.
Sure, I was dreaming of old Ibrox, of her slopes and great grandstands, and I dreamed about the Rangers, the best team in the land. When my memory suggested of a vision bright and clear, of the strange things that would happen if we had the Rangers here. Now if the road to Ibrox Park, way up the Shankill, and Brian Loudrup came from Sandy Road, and Alistair Toyce came from East Belfast, and old Belfast became then old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, sure no green flags at that game, they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roll, and all the boys would stay at home. If we only had the Rangers over here. I dreamed about her Ulster men who wore the shirt of blue, Bertie Manderton, Sam English, Donny Hamilton, McCandless too. I have dreamed of Whitey MacDonald, who came from Lisburn town, and the greatest Billy Simpson, who never let them down. Now if the road to Ibrox Park, way up the Shankill, and Brian Loudrup came from Sandy Road, and Ali McCoyce came from East Belfast, and then old Belfast became old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, then no green flags at that game, they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had Glasgow Rangers over here.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, okay, we're all back. Bridgeman, you back?
Yes.
Yes, back.
Yeah.
Back.
Back, good man. Okay, it's been an emotional time, but I don't think this is the worst thing that's happened to our club in the last few weeks, Big Al. You know, you've got to put it in perspective.
Oh, no, aye, of course. See, that I was thinking about that today, actually. The passing of a true Rangers, yeah? He's never will be and never will be. He'll be marked in the history books as if the man that had got 55, if you like. He's not a true Ranger. To be a true Ranger, you're like one of us, or you're like Sir Walter Smith. That's a true Ranger. He'll never be. He couldn't lace that man's boots. So for me, it's no great loss. As I said to you before, I was never a great fan of him. He was a good player, but I always had Lampard or Scholes before him if I was picking a team. So for me, and look, I'm not even want to go too much on about it, because I want to look at this is an exciting time for us now. I actually think, I see we flip on our head here. I know I'll use the analogy. We flip on its head, and we got rid of him to get Gio in.
Hello.
Does that make sense? You know what I mean? We got $4.5 million. I'd rather look at it that way. We got rid of him to get a manager in that will take us further, take us win a couple of trophies.
We've been joined by Davey. How we doing, Davey?
I know by Ox. You're on about a couple of different things there. Southside Giovanni. His new experience.
I don't know if he quite said that. Southside.
Not saying he's no good experience. I know he was the manager. He's been assistant manager. What I'm saying is, right, he won everybody's going to win the Dutch League, right? Great feat that he done, right? Now, I never really looked into a lot of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst at the time, right? I'm just saying everybody's been screaming his name. So what I'm saying is, when they won the Dutch League, what did he do the following season? Did he leave? Or did he try and defend it? That's what I'm asking people out there. So, and then he went to China, and he was 11th in the Chinese league before. All right, so he left. So he won one league title and left.
I believe that. I think.
You know, Big Al. I'm no
just
saying
like the manager we had before.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying here that he probably can't do the job. I'm just saying, all I'm hearing is everybody's come on this show. I've listened to Gio. Nobody else has come out with any other names. I'm saying, how could Frank Lampard not be there? Or somebody mentioned earlier, Dean Smith, who done a good job in the Championship. But people have got to remember, Big Al, as well. See some of these managers that are in that Premier League, like a Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche is in there because he took Burnley in there, right? Eddie Howe took Bournemouth in there. Graham, other managers take teams, and then if they stay in that league, then they get seen as being a Premier League manager.
But you can put Steve Bruce in that bracket. And
Steve Bruce, who's not to say Steve Bruce couldn't come in and do a job for us? Just because he sort of didn't do too well in some of his jobs, but he's got the experience. He's only got to beat Celtic up here.
I'll come back. I'll let Davey come in. Davey.
Sorry,
that's Davey. All right, mate. Carry on, Davey.
No, it was on about that. Souness, Smith, Stevie G, they never had much experience when they came here, when they came over, and they've done fairly good jobs.
I think Souness said Davey. Souness had Smith beside him. But
I understand that, but Souness was still the man, wasn't he? Souness changed Scottish football forever. He was the one that changed it altogether, because all we done in Scotland, we were just amateurs playing at football, and he made Scottish football more professional with his attitude and the discipline and that. And he was lucky enough he had Walter Smith beside him. And Stevie G, any manager you sign is a gamble, isn't it? It's a chance you take. Because we've had some good managers, and we've had some dumplings as well. And that's all. And
who would your choice be,
last caller, Davey, he was on about Lampard. We couldn't afford them. You'll not ken until you go and see if that's the man you want. A lot of folk wouldn't have thought that they could afford, like, say, Stevie Gerrard, Souness or that. And another thing you're on about Stevie G, the value of the club. There was a thing a couple of weeks ago saying that Rangers were the richest club in Scotland, and they'd valued them about 90 million compared to what it came into, as you say, is maybe about 4 or 5 million. So it did do a reasonable job, as I said to you last night. And the only thing that sticks in your craw a wee bit is the way you left us. But I've no qualms about that. It's just, as you say, if guys are going for other jobs and that, You go for what suits you and your family, yeah. And if that's it,
whether we like it or no, whether we like it or no, Davey, that's going to be people's priorities. Like that's life. That's life, innit?
Right.
I mean, Bridge,
as you say, your last caller, Davey, he was British Rail for X amount of years. You're up to him, and that's it.
Aye, 43, you're up doing that track.
Aye.
He's like Bridgeman's an unemployed lamplighter, you know what I mean?
And that ain't I Bridgeman. I'm in the same camp as Bridgeman regarding McInnes. When they're talking about him the last time, I was for throwing my season ticket in.
I say it again, mate, I don't understand that. I don't want Derek McInnes as our manager, but I didn't want Pedro Cachina. I wasn't too enamoured with Mark Warburton as the choice, but you still support the team. That's what the point I was making. You know,
I understand that as well. And it was the same. Go back.
By the way, I've just been messaging.
I took my season ticket. I had a season ticket.
Somebody will take it off you.
Yeah, I had a season ticket for I don't know, 30 odd years. And because Celtic got awarded the league, I put the 3 season tickets in. I couldn't stomach it. I regret it now. Cut the nose off to spite the face, but that's what I've done. And
that's life, mate. That's life, mate.
Aye, I understand that, but I just couldn't stomach them getting awarded the league. And I can't wait Bridgeman's coming.
Just ask him who scored the goal when they won 9 in a row. They can't answer you, yeah. You know, but listen, Bridge knows what I think about him, but I don't understand that rationale. But I don't think McInnes is in the equation personally, but you never know, Southside.
No, that's right. And no, you don't. To my mate this morning, I think McInnes is just in front of me for the Rangers job.
Maybe, but if you get it, I'm getting my pre-season ticket back, right?
But what track record would McInnes have?
Nothing, mate. Only the connection with the club.
So he wouldn't even be in the reckoning.
No.
You know what I mean? So I don't think it's anything to worry about. And it is 40 ounce of Friday, and I think Bridge has been on a crack pipe. Once he comes down off that high, he'll soon realise it's not going to happen, and he'll be fine.
He's a wee checking now. He's a wee checking
the betting. Oh no, McInnes is setting 3-1.
Send them on the edge.
Oh my God! I tell you another thing. See, when I did see the headlines and I seen Stevie's left, I thought it was Big Stevie for the drum. By God, I don't want that man to leave Rangers Radio for a lesser station like Ibrox Radio or something. You know what I mean? That would be devastating.
He has been approached. To see if he would do a spell in the Palladium after his professional acting debut.
What, in a pantomime?
And the advert.
That's him and Southside could do the 2 Ugly Sisters. I was here.
No, they were arguing.
Oh, I hear you.
They were arguing who was going to do the back of the horse. You know, they were arguing who was going to go at the back.
I've never seen Southside, but
handsome as anything, mate. Handsome as anything.
Are they?
Housewife's choice.
Right.
Leader's wives.
Right, where are we? David, you stuck with Gio. Is that your man?
Yeah, I think he's quite a good man, and it all depends who he brings in beside him.
Derek McInnes.
You should never link Bridgeman up off. I'm not taking that one.
All right, sorry, mate. I couldn't resist that. That was a bad joke, mate.
See the thing about it? Who was his assistant?
Who?
Oh, that.
Oh, you remember that, Bridge, eh?
You watch your day. Bridgeman, don't you rise to the bait. They're trying to wind you up. I'm sticking up for you here.
I'm on your side, Bridge. I've seen the size of you. Some shooters on you. I'm not one lamped at the bistro again.
Right, Ox.
Right, Davey.
I'll let you go. And
Catch you soon,
thanks very much for having me again.
Always a
thank
pleasure,
you.
mate. Always a pleasure.
Right.
Speak to you
Cheers,
soon.
Enjoy
Davey.
the show, guys. It's been a good
Cheers,
show.
mate.
Thank you. Bye.
There'll be a wee bit of a come down. I was just going to say, there'll be a wee bit of a come down for all you super fans of Steven Gerrard. I was laughing when I seen that. I'm saying, oh, there'll be a few Stevie Gerrard life-size cutouts getting thrown out, eh?
Aye, there was one on. Did you see it?
Oh, I seen that boy in the telly.
It was
a bit,
funny.
but I think he would have just been like, oh, no.
Oh, you're away for the emotion. And I don't mean that in the madness.
No.
But it doesn't mean you don't care. But listen, I understand how people are upset. I understand how people don't want certain people. It does look like there's a perfect fit in some respects with Giovanni Bryant Bonkhurst.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't always work
that
your perfect fit's your perfect fit, you know?
I personally, I'm not. I wouldn't look if he came in. For me, it's hard to follow on for some of the great managers I've been able to watch. But then again, I didn't see why we couldn't go into the Scottish market, and we done it with McLeish, and I think McLeish was successful. I would like to see us maybe. Look, I think there's three possibilities, and didn't shoot me down here. I think Callum Davidson at the Scottish market, I would sit at the top of it, right? And then you've got that Jack at Hibs, and then I would maybe even look at that Martindale Hezbollah at Livingston, because I think the three of them are. I don't know. I think they could do something. We really need to get over the hurdle this year, so whatever it is. But I don't want the board sitting waiting, and then interim managers and all that kind of carry on again. I just want them to appoint somebody and we go on with it, and we win the league. We win the league. Just get us going on. Just.
I'll be joined by Amanda. Evening, Amanda.
Good evening. How are we all?
All right. I notice you're always on Southside and Big Aller on. Is there any?
Honestly, isn't it a personal choice? I wanted to phone in. But no, I just think...
You better watch yourself. Linda will be after you.
I'm just thinking about the new manager and that. And okay, we've got all these names in the hat, but I agree with what you're saying. I think we need to appoint somebody. All this hesitation and all this, we don't know who we're going to get. I think we need to appoint somebody, because we need to get, as you said, we need to get this, sorted so we can start getting on with our season again. You know what I mean?
Aye, I understand where you're coming from. You there, Bridgeman, to take that point?
Yeah, I'm indeed, pal. As far as I'm concerned, I agree 100%. We need to get on with it. We need to go and find the person we're looking for, and I believe sincerely the board are looking at Van Bronckhorst, and I'm not saying that they're not looking at anyone else, but some names in the hat. You're talking about Lambert as well, so a good chance at Lampard. So a good chance there's a choice between two with that one. Personally, I would look for and sign him immediately if I could by Monday. I'd have him signed. Van Bronckhorst, for me, he's got a good Rangers background and was well respected throughout world football as a quality player.
Fox has asked me to read this out to you, Bridge, and so don't shoot the messenger, Bridgeman, okay? Terry McInnes is currently 14-1 with William Hill to be the next Rangers manager. That means, Bridge, if you put a £10 on, you'll lose a tenner. All right.
Oh dear, but I just think we need to get somebody in. I mean, we've obviously got a list of ones we want, you know what I mean. But for me, McInnes is not the man. Definitely not.
I don't think he is. No,
definitely not. I mean, I never rated him much, really. And then, of course, the comment you made, when we were going through the dire spell, didn't help him any either. But as I say, we need to get somebody in. I'm not too concerned about Stevie G going. Okay, it could have been better timing. But at the end of the day, his family down south was missing him, And I mean, as I say, I didn't have a Stevie G cut out, so I didn't bin it. But I certainly wouldn't have went to that extent anyway. You know what I mean? But as I say, I'm just hoping we get the right person and that fits the criteria for the club, because it's got to be somebody that's got a knowledge of the club, somebody that's...
Stevie G never had a knowledge of the club.
I know, but I just feel now we need to get somebody in that's Rangers-minded.
And is that Giovanni Bronckhorst? Is he Rangers-minded? What makes you Rangers-minded, Amanda?
What makes you Rangers-minded? Well, having a knowledge about, the history of the club and the titles have won, the cups have won, the history they've created in over the 150 years.
Do you think Giovanni Bronckhorst could name the 4 founding fathers?
Giovanni Bronckhorst might fit the criteria.
Or do you think he could name the 4
I think.
When you go out?
I was just what I was going to say, Amanda. Do you not think that limits the pool?
No. Just go, you want the best person
if you go,
for the job.
You want the best person. Whether he's Rangers minded.
That's even better, isn't it?
Aye, that's a bonus. That's a wee bonus ball. But I don't want us to limit that pool in regards to. It has to be fucking. Sorry for swearing. It has to be like a Northern Irish Protestant Rangers background. That straight away the pool is just totally narrowed. We have to go and get.
I was going to say that because you can't just say that we need this person because they've got this kind of mind. We need somebody that knows the football world in general. We could get somebody in that's Rangers minded and they might not be great at handling the pressure. We've got to get somebody that knows football as a game, not just in Scotland but worldwide. You know what I mean?
I'm available, Amanda. I'm available.
Well, I was up till last week and then I knackered myself again. But no, I mean, I'm just glad we've got the list of managements we're looking at. We need to get it sorted. I think they're talking about over the weekend doing negotiations. So hopefully,
Hopefully, I think we've been joined also by Andy for Leeds. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, chaps. Amanda.
Good evening.
Personally, myself, right, we don't want to be at the club. Not really interested. I've been critical of him from the start. He's 1 out of 9 and all that. For me, it's the way he walked out of the club. Absolutely shocking. Cowardly. Very cowardly. The Dutch thing, I'm kind of worried about that. We tried that. Had a couple of good years out of it. And then when they started to fall out amongst each other, if you look at current Dutch squad and all that, they grate them up to the last games and then they fall out, implode. That's why they've not won as much as they should do with the talent they've got there. We tried the foreign stuff. Let's go back to our roots. Somebody that understands the Scottish game. Well, I would be looking. I'm going with Big Al there. I'll be looking at Callum Davison with Kevin Thompson alongside him. I really like that pairing. Let's get somebody that understands the Rangers. Yeah, I like him. He talks good of Rangers. He knows the score.
No, he's not. Well, he's nice, but I watch him on Rangers TV. Not for me, Andy. Callum Davis will need to bring in his own people, and whoever he works well with. If he works well with Kevin Thompson, yeah, great. But people have been saying as well, Thompson, Barry Ferguson, these kind of things. For me, I think if they fit the bill and they do well, aye. But
I wouldn't touch Barry. I wouldn't touch Barry. No, I wouldn't touch Barry. Kevin Thompson, I think, is good. I'm not talking about being his total second. I'm having him on there. I mean, how many people did Gerrard have on his bench? Aye. Oh, the bus stop, all right. Aye. Like, it's just a terrible way that he's gone about it. That don't stick with me. That's just cowardly. That's the kind of man. I'll not leave Rangers. I love Rangers, and he comes out with statements like, "Oh, I'm a Rangers for life." You're a Rangers for life. You walk like he's one of them anyway. Let's not kid myself. He's off that stock.
Watch where you're going, Andy. Watch where
I'll stay at that. I'll just throw it out there.
Yeah, you've had one already, and the other one you'll be gone forever, mate.
Well, that's okay. Well, if I'm.
Right, listen, I'll let you go.
Sometimes you've just got to say what you believe. And it's fact is that, isn't it? You know.
Remember where you are, yeah?
I know.
I'll let you go and let more callers come in, but have a good weekend, guys. Okay.
Cheers.
Bye.
But
who's your preferred candidate, Ox?
That's a good
finger on the pulse.
That's a good question. I think Giovanni Bonkers does tick all the boxes, but I think it's important that there is maybe somebody there with a Scottish root. Now, we had Gary McAllister there the last time, but they've all came as a package. I think you might want to get some succession planning in there. And if it was somebody you went for to see where it goes, to develop it, and if the combination worked similar to Walter and Graham Souness, knowing that you might think that the number one's not going to be there for any more than 3-4 years. Who that is, there's a few people tick the bill. There's obviously Neil McCann's well spoken about, does a lot of work for Rangers TV, Kevin Thompson, who Andy's mentioned, and somebody that Southside mentions a lot is Barry Ferguson. They're the three sort of that generation you keep getting mentioned. Southside as part of a team.
I think about it, Big Al is right. I think I'm not saying Barry comes in.
Answer the question. He never answered.
No, he's just lumped it to me.
He's a politician.
Big Al, this is it. The thing about it, Big Al, this is a crucial decision for the club, right? Let's not kid ourselves here. Definitely. You know, and as I've heard, and you know what, see if it's Giovanni and he comes in and he does the business, fantastic. But we've got to be looking at a lot of different type of managers out there. There might even be somebody in Belgium, somebody in France or Italy. Who cares? See, as long as he's good at his job.
Did you go for a name? Aye.
And people say, you've won this and you've won that. Look, Alec Ferguson wasn't a decorated football player. Look what he done. Brian Clough, another one. Look what he done in management. Walter Smith, average player. Look what he done in management. You know, you could be decorated to the hilt with football medals for clubs that you've played for. It doesn't going to make you a success as a manager. You know?
No, but there's a lot of managers
I just feel
that have had success that are available at the moment, you know, that have got a lot of history behind them that have been successful with teams.
Aye, but we're looking at managers that are out of jobs, Big Al. That's what we're looking at.
Aye,
you know, should we not be looking at managers that are in a job? Yeah, I'm not going to say. I'll just throw another one out there. You could look at the guy at Southampton, the manager's room there. He's done no a bad job at Southampton there. I know he won a few quid, right? I'm just saying there is other managers out there. You could try and approach them, and you could ask the question. And if it's a no, it's a no. You know, we've had knockbacks, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world, but you could go out and ask the question. Same as whether you go out and ask Lampard if that was the board's choice. And people say, can he afford them?
I don't think Lampard would be a good
I'm not saying that either.
No, I'm not.
But I just feel as if
I just don't.
Everybody seems to.
All right, I'm going to come off the fence, Big Al. I'm going to come off it. I had time to think again. I think that when I take all things considered, my personal choice, he ticks a lot of the boxes, would be Giovanni Bronckhorst. But I think you have to have a plan B, mate. And I think there's got to be some succession planning as well. We're in a different place than we were when Stevie G walked in the door. So we have to have some succession planning and bring somebody in, if you like, as a maybe a number 3 and such, who's going to develop. Whether the guy stays or no and makes a grade, you don't know. But I think you've got to look at it. But we'll see where it takes us.
But can you elaborate on that in regards to what other clubs do you see doing that kind of thing? Is that a thing that you think would be a good business model for Rangers? Because I don't see other clubs out there that have managers have a 2 and a 3 ready for a succession plan. I think you need to get a manager in, you know what I mean, and get the ball rolling.
Whether it works for you or you go in a different route or whatever it does, I think it's good to develop people into different roles and within your club and see where it takes you. And somebody could come out the woodwork. When Walter Smith walked in the door at Ibrox in 1986, nobody predicted he'd be the Rangers manager. Nobody.
No, but that's once in a lifetime thing that happened there with Walter. You know what I mean? It's not a thing that you see.
When Jock Wallace got brought in with Willie Waddle, nobody predicted he'd become the manager of the
Jock Wallace was successful, but he wasn't as successful as Walter Smith, was he? And what I'm getting is I don't see that happening with a lot of teams. That's what I mean. I'm not trying to be derogatory to Walter Smith or Jock Wallace. I'm just saying that thing, it doesn't happen all the time. Managers have to come in and prove themselves.
I'm not even saying it'll work, Carl. I'm just saying that I think you need somebody who's. We're a unique football club, and I think Andy would agree with that. We're a unique football club, and we need somebody in there. So, whoever.
Right. Where is that succession plan when Stephen Gerrard came in then? Is it something that new?
The whole lots went, and that's shown that there's a problem with that model. Andy?
I personally think that if you watched Gerrard from the start of the season, he's not been at it. There's been wee digs thrown at the board along the season. As Shug said from the start there that he thought he'd be away, something didn't sit right. Now, I honestly think as well, this is not just come out overnight. I think Rangers have had a plan in place. They've known it was coming. I mean, where has there been any conversation or anything on record saying that Rangers try to keep him to stay? You said, right, he's away. So I think Rangers have in mind who they want on their short list. It's them, if it's 4 guys on it, it's then up to the board there at Rangers to make sure they pick the right one. But there's no guarantees. It's football. These things happen. But no, I don't. I think he's been challenging the board for the last two months there, right enough. And you know what it is at Rangers. You don't want to be there, right? You don't talk to us like that. You're away. Doesn't matter who you are.
Andy, can I ask you a question, mate?
Aye.
Do you think Stephen Gerrard will come back in for Ryan Jack?
Not now, because he's injury prone.
Right, anyway, we've been joined by Ian.
I'm going to go, guys. Thanks very much for taking my call. Have a lovely...
how we doing, Ian? Evening, Ian.
Aye, not too bad. I'm in the Geo camp as well because he's got managerial success behind him, and a lot of names that have been bandied about are either ex-players that have never managed or never really done nothing, and a lot is going to get into money. I know to bring some sort of manager in, and you can't just go to a club that's already got a manager. That's going to cost a fortune they might not have.
Whereas, I think Gio's a good fit because he can walk in the door. And
I think he knows the club, he knows the temperament of the club, he knows how it works inside out, he knows how to win, and he's proved that with his managerial. And the only reason he came back from China was because of the COVID and they wanted back to his family. It wasn't because he was like garbage at the league or anything like that. And I mean, you got to remember, Stephen Gerrard came with just being the manager of under-19s. So he had no managerial experience at all. And he did brilliant for his last. You bring somebody in with managerial experience and has got the Rangers knowledge and the heart of Rangers inside them. That's a start right away.
So you're in the Geo camp, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Definitely no. As far as McInnes, I mean, you can rub his name out with a rubber. Don't need him. And Lampard, no. That's
So say.
All I'll say is, see if Gio doesn't get appointed, there's going to be some amount of angry Rangers supporters at this rate. Ian,
I'm just saying that's what I'd like.
Aye, I agree, mate. See if Gio gets the job, mate. I'll be all for it. I'm not saying it'll be the ring appointment if it happens. I'm just saying we should maybe look and see who else is available or who who maybe Ross Wilson had in a plan at a certain time when we're looking to say, if this goes pear-shaped and Gerrard goes, who are we looking at? Now, has he got a job now? Aye, he's got a job. Well, who next was on the list? And see who was available, right? Maybe Giovanni was on that list, you know? Maybe Derek McInnes was on that list at some point. Who knows? You know? But whatever happens, mate, it's a critical appointment for us. We just need to get it right, mate. That's the thing. We need to get it right.
You get it right. I know you mean like Ali McCoy. I was watching him today on YouTube, and he put it nicely that we should take our time and don't be rushing in a couple of days and just to try to appoint anybody. We should take our time out of this international break and get the right person in that's going to start the season back off again once the football's back in the 20th. I mean,
it's going to be an interesting time, it's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be an interesting week, yeah.
I think we're saying like Gio and things like that because that's something we don't know the actual list that Rangers might have, but we're just seeing what's going about in the media or on YouTube and things like that, you know.
It could be somebody totally for left field, you know.
Aye, it could be, as you say, it could be totally somebody we never even thought about, and then we go, oh, aye, absolutely brilliant.
Aye, yeah. If it works. Right, I'm going to ask you to go on mute because Fox has got a wee ditty that Big Al asked for.
Hi, I'm Big Stevie.
Hi, I'm Southside from Rangers Radio.
As part of our club's 150-year celebrations, Rangers Radio are holding a charity race night on the 26th of March 2022 at the Rangers Club outside Ibrox Stadium.
Thanks to everyone who has contributed so far. There are still opportunities for businesses, supporters clubs and individuals to sponsor races and place advertisements within the event programme.
Listeners, including those unable to attend, can purchase tickets for our online Super 6 Races Booze Cruise to win a super selection of quality spirits provided by the Rangers Radio panellists.
For details how to take part in our Super 6 and how to purchase adverts in our race programme, please visit shop.RangersRadio.online.
Super 6 Races will also be screened live on Facebook. Any listeners wishing to become involved in our sponsorship should contact rangersradio@gmail.com.
All monies raised will go to the Emmy Smiley Charity Foundation, the Rangers Supporters Erskine Appeal and the Robert Mulholland Memorial Parade.
Meanwhile, it's Colonel John Summerbird in the red cap. And Zenyatta's come to the outside. Zenyatta coming flying on the grandstand side. Gio Conti on the inside. Summerbird is right there. This is unbelievable.
It's like spaghetti western. It's that bad, it's good.
Oh, you. Perfection, SAS style. Perfection, mate.
Oh, dear. I wish Fox could play the outtakes. Oh, dear. Right, okay. Thanks for that, brother. Thanks to you and Big Stevie. And things are going well. We're just still obviously looking for different things. We're looking to make a lot of money for the charities, and things are going well. Things are going well. Andy.
Uh-huh.
An appointment in any walk of life, be it your next relationship. I know you're a man that's always fought them off with a big stick, you know. You don't know where you're going to go, you know, and work. And it's hindsight, isn't it? Everything's hindsight. Giovanni Brock-Honkhorst looks a good fit. Walk in the door, 6 months' time, they're saying, oh, we got that right. You know, or we could be saying, Stevie who, you know?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, there's a couple of things that worry me as far as we stand in. I know if he comes in, we back him, simple as that, knows the score, has played for the club, seems to have a fondness for us, so you back him. The thing that worries me is that as we stand now, I'm worried that half of this current team will down tools now anyway. That's on the playing side. You wouldn't like to think so because there's a hell of a lot to play for, and if they're caught in moves, you'd want to think they're going to, you know, put in the effort to play for the Rangers right enough. The Dutch thing, it worries me. I remember Big X last season. They got him sacked. The man Vaterus, the goalie, said if half of the Dutch players in that team said, if McLeish said dive right, they would dive left. When they implode them, they implode. They're fantastic players, but they just have this mentality. They get there and then they just seem to implode all the time. That's the only nagging thing that I've got, because he will flood it, or he will bring Dutch players like the Cabacat that I would have thought. But the problem any manager's got, whoever we get there now, right, it's as simple as this. We've got no money. So you're asking a manager to come in, do the miracle, make Rangers win this league and go forth. But we're getting the money. And whether we like it or not, we can't. So any manager that's coming in with, anything behind him, credentials, wants to buy his own players, he's probably not going to get anything like he expects, because we just haven't got the money. The accounts there tells you that. This is why it's essential, really, that what's at that club the now, knuckles down, stays and gets us into the Champions League, and then we can start looking at it in a different vise. And that's what worries me. I worry about the team dropping off, because when you lose a manager, there's always a couple of dodgy results. Sometimes you get, a new manager coming in, you get 2 or 3 good wins, and then it tails off. The current crop we've got there, some of them, as I've said to you before, what worries me now that they've not got the guide in hand. Are they going to accept, some of the guys that like Gerrard, going to accept the new manager, no matter who it is? There's all sorts of factors. But there's no guarantee. We could get the best manager in the world, could flop at Rangers. That's life, There's no guarantees, is it? That's my main worry, Ox. It's just about I just want the squad just to go forward now. We can come through this hard period of games, then things could look really good, and you'd like to think the players will say, well, look, he's gone. He doesn't seem like he said cheerio to any of them. Not that we know or we do know, but, they want to just say, oh, well, okay, we're going to prove you wrong. We've not been playing good. And he's digged these players out a couple of times. He said in one press conference, well, look, this is the money you're giving me. This is the level of players I'm getting. Now, if somebody's saying that about me, I'm saying, you're after you. I'm trying my best and you're talking like that. So hopefully these players are going to up their game and give some of the football that we know they can play. Let's hope that side works. That's my take on it.
You're right. Okay. I think we've been joined by Bo Star, but a wee message from him. Bo Star, when you're trying to phone in, if you keep phoning and you get to speak to the receptionist, you'll get in a lot quicker, mate. A lot quicker. All right?
Evening, Ox.
Yeah, just try to make it easy for you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. What's on your mind?
Well, as I said to you the last couple of nights, Gio's definitely the front runner. Absolutely no doubt about it. On Ross Wilson's list, McInnes was on it. Our chairman advocated for McInnes. Now, that's a gimme. The football players that are at our club and who have already come out and tell all their pals and all that Ross Wilson is wanting Giovanni. Now, I'm inclined to think a bit like Southside. And dare I say it, the point Andy just made, I think, is perfectly valid. The finance thing's a big sticky wicket now. But then Rangers must be of the contingency plan to say, look, they're going to have to push the boat out here, because the be-all and end-all is winning that title and getting into the Champions League. And let's be honest here, we're not daft. We are in debt, so the 40 million or whatever it is, 30 million plus, is going to pull them out. A lot of that, plus give us money for extra players. The only problem they have with Giovanni is, and the reason I said the other night as JFK, and indeed yourself, Fox, because you've just made the point, the contingency plan, as you say, is Ross Wilson. Giovanni could come in, and let's be honest, as you've just said, 6 months down the line, somebody else, whether it's Barcelona or somebody else, could come in for him, and the same thing would happen. So it stands to reason you should have people in the background at your club that could step in, i.e., whether it's another Scotsman, ex-Ranger, that would be ideal. And the reason I say Giovanni with maybe a Neil McCann or a Barry Ferguson or somebody of that ilk, at least they know the club and they've got a wee bit of savvy. They could step into the role. As it stands now, let's be truthful here, we don't have anybody at our club. Yes, we've mentioned somebody like Stephen Davis and that, but they're still playing. What I'm saying is, we should never have been in the situation, whether it was under Stevie G or anybody else. We should have had somebody in the background that would have been able to step into the shoes as manager if needed be. You know what I'm saying? And if Giovanni comes in, he's already said that he would bring in Wouters along with then someday or other. And Andy's right. It would be 3 Dutchmen. So as you've just said, Doc, yourself, and I agree with you 100%, we should have somebody else. As from now, we need to start having somebody else in the background so that if something like that happens again, and indeed it will happen over the next few years, because that's what's happening with the Premiership. Frank Lampard's out right away because, as far as I'm led to believe through Sky, he's took the Norwich job. He's knocked it back, right? Well, I mean, these guys are going to...
It must be 12 hours out a day.
Well, I think the thing is, Ox, these guys are going to command big wages, and they're not going to walk into Rangers, even although they're only up against one other club, unless they're going to get proper finance to bring in their own players. I.e., therefore, if you go for a Scots-minded guy, whether it's a Callum Davison or whoever, they can work better to that because they've never had money to bring in big players. But even Giovanni would be looking for a right few quid to bring in. And Andy's right, probably quite a few Dutchmen. So a lot of it, and most of it, is going to come down to finance.
Such as most things in life. Anyway, we've been joined by first-time caller, Graham. Evening, Graham. How are you doing, Graham?
How you doing, guys?
Hi, mate, you're a bit quiet. Speak up, mate.
First time on the radio, actually, so I'm a wee bit nervous, to be quite honest with you.
No problem, mate, no problem.
Rangers are my team. I love Rangers, and I just really wanted to put a wee point over it, if that's all right, lads.
Carry on, mate.
Okay, the first thing is the Rangers finances came out just last week, actually, for £26 million in debt. Now, what worries me is obviously, with the circumstances being as it is, we have to get, obviously, an appointment really as soon as we can. If Celtic win this league this year, Rangers are going to be toiling. You think about it, right? And we're going to be basically £40 million, as everybody knows. That's not going to happen to us. So that means Celtic are going to get that. That's going to put us 10 years. It's going to take us another 10 years to get our money back if Rangers don't win this league. So this appointment is so precious to us because we're automatically going to be in the Champions League this year. And I know people just willy-nilly say, we'll just get Van Bronckhorst, we'll just get this, we'll just get that, and which is great. These are all great Rangers names. But what I worry about, right, is basically, remember Ali McCoist when he took over? Ali McCoist, legend. Of course he is. Rangers man through and through. But it didn't work out. I think what we have to get is someone who's passionate and who's also good at their job. Now, semi-finals at the moment in the Cup, Callum Davidson, and I know most Rangers fans are going to say, no, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The man is not good enough. He's Scottish. What does he know? What we don't want Van Bronckhorst coming in. Then 6 months down the line, he's worried about his family. I'm not saying that would happen, but this is something we have to get right. We have to get someone in place who's going to make us win the league, who knows how to win, who knows how to run a team properly. We might lose some players, but I think the guy, Callum Davison, I think it's a missed opportunity if we don't get him. I'm being totally honest with you guys.
Listen, that's a first of all, great call, and a great point. People might not agree with your point, but you've argued it and put it across first class, Graham. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm only, as I said, I've not been on the radio before.
No, great point, well made.
It's something that's been really bothering me.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Like we all do. We all love Rangers.
On the finances, of course it's a concern going forward. But when you actually go through the books and you look at how much of that was related to COVID and how our income's going to spring back this year, hopefully by next year, when we have we're sitting here this time next year.
Yeah.
And if we do get the Champions League money, wouldn't be in the accounts, but the accounts are going to improve dramatically because there's 17 million in that.
But what don't?
Well, it's always if what's the maybes, isn't it?
Well, because there's only one other team is going to win it. You know what I mean? Another team is going to be so far ahead of us. It's going to is another 40 million quid. We're going to be in massive debt. There's going to be players leaving out the door.
Well, if they players leave, that might solve.
I love Rangers, and that's why the reason I'm phoning is because I'm scared, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I know everybody's Gerard, I'd shake his hand and I'd say congratulations on your new appointment. Good luck to you, son. But we're Rangers. We're Glasgow Rangers, and this is what we are. But I know, and we're going to have managers come and go. This season is massive for us. As everybody knows, it's automatic money into our account if we are in this league.
I think he's got a point about Callum Davidson, right? If you look at Callum Davidson for what he's done at St Johnstone, right? He's done a good job on a limited budget. He unearthed some no bad players. They sold that wee McCann boy, and he's I think St Johnstone's in the semi-final of the cup again, isn't he, this year? So
absolutely.
I mean, in Scotland, he's looked a promising manager, mate. I'll give you that. Yeah. You know, people are looking at you. Just Stevie G's just coming out the job. People are looking for a decent name, maybe, or something. I just want a good manager. To be honest, mate, I want somebody.
Remember, Stevie G wasn't a manager before he came to Rangers.
Aye, but what he done is he surrounded himself with people in the background that done the tactics and done. He was like the Godfather. Do you know what I mean? He was a figurehead. Aye, and he's a world class player and he played the game. But tactically, Michael Beale and other ones set things out. But aye, Callum Davidson, mate. There's going to be loads of names. Giovanni, if he gets the job, I wish him all the best, and I hope he succeeds. But of course we do, but this is a critical thing for us. We need to win this league. We need to get into the Champions League.
We have to win it. It's not a case of
so that's how this appointment.
If Celtic win this league, we could be another 9 in a row.
Well, do you know what will happen, mate? To be honest, what will happen is there'll be a fire sale at the end of the season with certain players. Exactly. That's what would happen, right?
Exactly.
You got to remember, we're a selling club. That's what the board told us at the AGM. So, well, we haven't done well in the last wee while, mate, about selling players. So, going forward, there will be players getting sold in the summer, no doubt. And then we need to rebuild with other players. And that's just the way we go forward as a club at the size of Glasgow Rangers, mate. We evolve and we keep moving forward.
Exactly. Now, we don't want to play second fiddle to this mob. You know, I mean, it's nothing, no disrespect to Celtic, but we are who we are. And we can't have Celtic winning the league because we're in debt at the moment, as everybody knows, as the board knows, as everybody else knows. If Celtic go £40 million just for qualifying for the Champions League next year, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble because, like you said, we'll never have any players left. We'll never have to pay bills. We'll have to go start. It's basically starting from the beginning again, and that's the worrying thing for me.
I don't think we're anywhere near where we were 3 years ago, mate. The balance sheet's different. The assets are different. The club's different.
Remember when Souness came in? We were talking about Souness earlier on, right? He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He went with to Liverpool, but who did he bring in? He brought in Walter Smith. Nobody even thought about Walter Smith being a Rangers manager. Nobody. Nobody even thought at the time Walter Smith will be Glasgow Rangers manager. And look what he done. Now, I'm not saying that bringing someone from a foreign land is brilliant, like Brian Bronkhorst, who was a god, same as Alan McCoy was, all the rest of it. But what I will say is, someone who's got a proven track record so far, and the only person I can see in Scotland at the moment is Callum Davidson. He was manager of the year last year. He's in semi-finals of the cup. Now, who's to say they can't beat Celtic in the semi-finals and play us in the final? Because I think we'll beat Hibs. And now, if he win it again, we've missed an opportunity. I believe. I mean, it's just more on personal thoughts.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And I just think, that is, as I
well
said,
done.
if you look back, we're old enough to realise that Walter Smith, he never had a track record, and look what he done was. And I just think there's an opportunity.
All right, Graham, cheers, mate. Thanks for the call, mate. Good to speak to you. We're just going to wind the show up. Great first-time call, but a good point well made, brah. All right?
Thank you very much, and thank
you.
Cheers,
brah. Cheers. Good call for the first time, Southside.
What's up, buddy?
We've been joined by Billy. How we doing, Billy?
How you doing, guys? All right?
Make it brief, Billy. Make it brief. Just so
no bother. I'll be as quick as I can. I'll tell you what it is. Some of the Bears seem to be forgetting here. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, right? He's no tied to any one club, right? So there's no compensation there to another club. Plus, we've got the £3 or £4 million for Stephen Gerrard for the compensation. Well, 4.5, even better. Plus, we've got the wages that Stephen Gerrard was earning, plus his background team. Now, that all goes into the pot, in my opinion. So, I think, personally, going for wee Mowgli, as we used to cry him, is a fantastic move. Now, if we get into the last 32 Europe, even better, and we've a brilliant chance of getting into the Champions League next year. And then we can worry. Then we can worry about what we're going to spend and what we're going to do next. Let's get this season by way and get a manager in place. And I think, as I said, Van Bronckhorst is a perfect move financially for Rangers, and the pulling power. Okay, I mean, we've got a cracking side as it is. We're still sitting top of the league. You don't become a bad team overnight. I mean, we ran away with the league last year. We've hardly kicked a ball this season. On occasions, we've been playing some fantastic football, right? But that'll all come. And if he can tweak us a wee bit, the players that we've got there, they're no bad players. So I think it'd be a great move. And what he'll do and who the boys he'll bring with him, even better. And as I heard one of the callers saying earlier on there, regarding getting an old Blue Nose in, by all means, a Barry Ferguson or something like that, get him into training staff. And I'm sure that Giovanni will have the brains and the acuteness to think along the line. So I think it'd be a great move for the Rangers. So it'd be fantastic move.
Listen, Billy, you're not going to last on here, mate. You talk too much sense. We've just been told we're going to go. I've been advised we're going to go for an extra 10 minutes because you've joined us, Billy. There you go. You must have some influence in this show. Right, go Star, in you come, mate. Go Star, then Andy.
I agree with what Billy said. Dogs, we all know Giovanni's at least. I mean, let's be truthful here. He was a brilliant player. He's got know-how. He knows about players. He's been in our club for 4 years, so he knows the score there. He'll know the Scottish game, and obviously it's not going to cost money to take him for another club. So that's all the plus points. I would just, as I say, I hope that we can get something in. And I know that the first and foremost is to get a manager in. If you're looking at credentials in it, and I get what the rest Southside and that said, and I agree, I know what he's saying, but if you're looking at credentials in that now, and for somebody with a bit of know-how, let's be truthful. Obviously, there's ones out there, but I don't see anybody else now that is not already in a job that's got the credentials that Gio's got. So, going with all intents and purposes, it would be a good appointment. It definitely would be.
That's what I'm saying as well. I mean, they're talking about wee Callum Davis and they've put St Johnson there as well. I mean, the boys won. Well, he's done a cracking job up there with the cup, getting to cup finals and whatnot, and winning cups and all that. But I mean, that means, you know what these wee clubs are like when they know Rangers have got a couple of pound, they'll say, well, they'll be wanting some kind of compensation deal as well. They maybe say, well, we want £1 million. You know what I mean, for talking's sake. So that's taking £1 million off what Van Bronckhorst could do when you're getting them for nothing. When you're getting them for nothing.
And look at the players we've got at our disposal now. Would they have the same respect for the likes of Callum Davidson if he became manager? I know he would be manager, but somebody like Gio would. Aye, they would have respect for Gio, let's be truthful.
Is that the argument? Is that the argument, Boston? I'll bring Andy if he leads in. Is that the argument we were having in 1991 when, I mean, Bridgman said repeatedly he didn't want Malter as a manager when Souness left. He wanted another. And Walter got the job and look what happened. Was that the argument?
Yeah, but Walter worked along with Souness. He was already there.
But is it the same argument that people would say, "Oh, Walker will not get respect to it, the players? He's not a big enough."
No, I know what you're saying. Absolutely. It just so happens at the time with the Englishmen and that as soon as it signed, Walker was still there in the building, so they knew he came as part of it. Would it have been the same astuteness if Walker had been brought in for the outside and he hadn't been there? Who knows? We can't answer that.
The players, if it was for talking sake, Callum Davidson, right? The players are still going to be professional no matter who it is.
Absolutely.
That's their job, to be professional no matter if it's who comes in, right? But when you look at Van Bronckhorst, I mean, he done brilliant in Holland. He was unlucky at Arsenal with his knee when he burst his knee again, and then he went out to Barcelona. And I heard also he was hovering about at Manchester City for a while, learning off Pep Guardiola. Now, I mean, he's done his homework, and the Dutch are named mugs when it comes to that kind of style of
I read
football and their tactics and that as well. And then, I mean, he worked under, when he was at Rangers, he learned off the Advocat, you know what I mean? And how shrewd was he as a football tactician? You know what I mean?
I've done a wee bit of reading on Gio today. Obviously, but you forget. His last game of football ever, professional football, was a World Cup final. And he went off in 105 minutes. And he was playing against Iniesta. That was his direct competition that day. And it was nothing each at the time. He went off and Iniesta scored. And they lost the final 1-0. That was his last game of football. Andy, and you come, mate?
Yeah, look, what you're saying about Bronckhorst, it ticks all the boxes, and if it happens, and they back him. But, if the players, who's to say they will afford the same respect to Bronckhorst as they would to Davison? If they're not going to do that, they shouldn't be at the club anyway, no matter who's managing their club. Correct. It's as simple as that. The Davison one, look, he's played at Rangers. He knows the score. He knows how to win in Scotland with no money. He's won 2 cups. He's in a semi-final of another one. Look at the job he's getting out of their players. They've held the Rangers a couple of times, beat the filth. There's credentials there if you want to look at that. And he knows the Scottish game. He knows the mentality. He knows the weather. He knows what's going to, what conspire in Scotland. He knows what the referees are like. So it's two sides of the coin. If we're going to go Scottish, that's where I would like to go, definitely. I would have a punt on that. With the punt on Gerrard, he was an under-21 manager. And he's left for a club, walked away for a club, 1 trophy in 9 by his own admission. That's Rangers some CV, innit?
That's fact, mate. But if you look at the job and you look at the squad and you look what he's done to the club, that's a different argument, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, well, we can go another way then, can't we? We can go different directions with the story that Gerrard's done as you want. It's the manner the way he walked on that club. Leaving international league,
That'll stick in a lot of people's throats, But listen, you've been chucked before, Andy, and you'll be chucked again. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've held that woman for a good few years. Don't worry about that, pup. and my job for 40 years.
That's only because you've never been caught.
Aye. I'm getting in it now, though. Don't worry about it.
And you come Southside.
I was just thinking, like, Callum Davison's got credentials for what he's done in Scotland, right? If you look at St Johnstone, where they were when Thingmy Wright was there, and he was getting them in the top 4, top 5, but he's brought a freshness to them. He's brought them success. I'd look at that if we made that appointment for talking. Say, I'd be like the Alex McLeish appointment that we made after Advocat, and look how that turned out for us. One is a treble. So. And he's right in what he says. He's got all the experience of Scottish football and everything like that. But I'm not saying that he should get the job, but it's something that the board could look at if you're looking for somebody that knows, like you say, Scottish game inside out. Saying you're looking at what could they do in Europe with as well. And you're talking about players and respect. See, to be honest, you could probably count 4 or 5 of their players will not be there come the summer anyway, Andy, and it'll be another rebuilding job anyway. Yeah, it
was always going to be anyway.
Aye, of course it was. Even if Stevie G was still there, I still said on the show weeks and weeks ago, we need to rebuild. And also, if you take into consideration maybe the loan players we've got out, so when we do appoint a new manager, maybe we should see about getting Katic back, getting Itten back, whoever else, and let the manager have a look at him in a system that he's going to play, and then see how we go with that as well.
Yeah, and also in his thinking, there, if you look at Gerrard, you could be looking at this and going, right, well, I'm already at the board, they're not playing game, there's no money here, I know I've got to rebuild again. So he's probably said, right, I'm away, I can't do this, That's probably in his thinking as well, along with his family. I get all that, you know what I mean, but just leaves a bad taste for me. That's not the way I was brought up, but there you go. He's done it, modern day football management, well, it's life, isn't it now? No, there's no loyalty to anybody. No, everybody just shafts everybody now, don't they?
We kept Bridgeman on here. Eh? Sky came for him. We fought tooth and nail, but he stayed.
Listen, guys. I hope history repeats itself, because the last Liverpool legend that came to the Rangers was Graham Souness, and he left us with 2 games to go. And after that, we went on and done the 9. So you never know, eh? History does a funny way of repeating itself. Gerrard's come in there. He's had a tour, well, he said his seasons he's won. He's left us halfway through it. But don't get me wrong. The team Steven Gerrard and the place the Rangers were, football-wise, when he first came in, it's like chalk and cheese now. You know what I mean? He's left us with a cracking squad. We're top of the league. Chance of getting into the last 32 Europe if we do what we expect them to do. Yeah, that's all we need to do. And we're stung two finals. Now, and you know what the Rangers are like, all as supporters. We get a big name into the club, they all go bonkers, you know what I mean? And but they shoot an arm that the Rangers need. You know what I mean? And it shut that mob up across the city again.
I don't want to post
a note. I post a note, got a clue. Aye, correct.
Right, Billy, correct. Listen, mate, I hope you've enjoyed it. First brilliant. Time call, mate. Great to have you on.
Aye. Absolutely. Brilliant, guys.
Good to hear you on, Billy.
Don't be a stranger.
No, I need bother, mate. I think my missus and my boy are through the room. They'll be killing themselves laughing at me.
That's your missus married to a media star now.
Media star.
Well, listen, guys, thanks for letting us on. We are the people, eh?
All right, cheers, Billy.
Cheers. Good night, lads. Cheers.
Right. Cheers. Well, Bridgeman, it's been an eventful show, mate. Derek McInnes is in the record, getting the job tomorrow.
I see that.
Right, mate, over to you, brother.
Oh, what can I say? But tonight, marvellous show. Well done, Oxford. Thanks very much to Southside for being our partner on this. And, to the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio. Every single one is. Everybody. For me, I'm going for Gio, and I hope all the other Rangers fans go for him as well, because he looks a cracking prospect for us. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers, and wishes all the best. Keep it going.
Quick word for Southside.
Hi, mate. Good to be on. Good to hear everybody's opinions, and hopefully the GVB loyal kicks on, mate. And if that's who it is, then hope he does a fantastic job for us. And just hope the board make the right decision, mate, for all yes. So thanks for having.
Yep. Thanks to all the callers tonight. Fantastic humour, passion, and good arguments. Thanks for that. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals, Bridgeman and Southside for doing the show, and everybody for joining us here in Rangers Radio. We'll be back between 8 and 10 on Monday night. But if something does break over the weekend, a lot of big stories, we will do a special show. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Take it away, Old School Blue.
We support the Glasgow Rangers, do not Ibrox is the place, and we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. it's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Ago the story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox Trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball.